Gaming has some interesting things go on every month. I'm Falcon, and today on gameranx, the weird stories of January 2018. Number 10, the rarest of the rare new PUBG items. Show up once every, 80 years. You'd be more likely to mine a Bitcoin, or a real, actual thing that you physically mine like coal, or gold for that matter. The new Desperado and Biker loot crates. Now obviously these items aren't actually items, they're virtual items, and therefore this scarcity is entirely artificial. Can you imagine how high those cosmetics are gonna go for aftermarket? Yeesh. I don't even want to think about it, actually. Number 9, hackers having worked for years have managed to unlock the PS4 and are now running PS2 games on an emulator. They're also running homebrew and pirated PS4 software, but none of us really care about that. The damn thing emulates PS2 games using system-level emulation, the same emulation that apparently powers all the PlayStation Classic games that you can purchase on the PSN store, although they do have to do a little bit of stuff to fool the PS4 into thinking that it is, a game you purchased. But I thought that all of that emulation stuff was included in the package when you downloaded the game. I thought they were all running their own little emulator, which I didn't think made sense, but I also didn't think that the PlayStation 4 was legitimately just hardware capable of emulating PS2, and PS1 for that matter. Number 8, Integral, a microSD manufacturer, has released a 512GB microSD card, which is obviously huge for a microSD card, but that's not what's weird. For Nintendo Switch owners, this is good. Basically good. You see, Nintendo Switch uses physical media, cartridges specifically, and updates to games, or, for instance, day one patches, which can be massive files by the way, are downloaded to the SD card. Now a 0.5 terabyte microSD is going to do two things: drive the prices of all SD cards down, and give Nintendo Switch owners a ton of space and they don't have to constantly switch, pun intended, their microSD. Some people seem to be really excited about this, but some people seem to think that it may encourage developers to be much worse about those day one patches. Number 7, a swatter is denying he is at fault for a bogus 911 call, which resulted in a death that was made over a $1.50 dispute in Call of Duty. On top of that, the person who died had nothing to do with it. The swatter sent the police to the wrong address, so a 28-year-old man who had nothing to do with the $1.50 Call of Duty wager was shot and killed. Now the caller is maintaining that he's not at fault for this, and that people should be pointing their fingers at the police officer that pulled the trigger, and certainly, there is definitely a case against the police here, but he is using that problem to hide behind. No, you are at fault. The police officer is at fault, and you are at fault. It is weird that anyone out there thinks that this is even vaguely alright. Don't do this! What the hell is wrong with you? Number 6 is significantly more pleasant. Some professional video gamers who are involved in the South Korean team KT Rolster got to be the first professional gamers to carry the Olympic torch in the relay. Now this doesn't necessarily guarantee that esports will be in the Olympics, but it does guarantee that it's starting to be considered. You don't do this if nobody in the world is thinking, hey, we should start including esports in the Olympics. And weird is a massive understatement for that, because when I grew up, people were like, that's not a real hobby. Do something productive with your time. And it may soon be legitimized in the Olympics. Number 5, Google has taken down some games on the Google Play Store targeted at children with malware in them that displayed pornographic ads and tried to trick users into buying premium services. The malware was called Adult Swine, and they embedded it into software that had been downloaded somewhere between 3 to 7 million times, according to publicly available statistics. Now, games that were affected were things called Paw Puppy Run Subway Surf, Drawing Lessons Lego Ninjago, and Add-on SpongeBob, 2 words, for MCPE. Now to you and I, these titles sound like they're cheap knockoff crap that makes a case for having much better moderation as to what gets decided as acceptable to have on the Google Play Store, but it's particularly malicious in that they embedded this adult swine malware into kids' apps. Number 4, a major flaw was found in millions, possibly billions of Intel chips. A very large number of computers, because of this, are vulnerable to a security exploit. Now, Intel has begun to put out software and firmware that would be able to, make you so you're not vulnerable to said security exploit, but it hit them hard. Their shares went down about 6%. Now, being they're in the process of rolling out software, somebody jumped the gun and talked about the exploit publicly before they had updates available. They aren't saying what the security exploit is, which is good, but I kind of want to know actually. Number 3, Washington State is now doing what Hawaii is doing and introducing a bill that would require the State Gambling Commission to examine loot boxes in games to determine whether these are considered gambling under Washington law. But these types of things do need to be decided officially, and thankfully, Washington is now the next state to do this. I don't want to say it's weird that it's taken this long, because it's not, but what's weird is the world is actually reacting to what gamers are saying about these games. They're listening. They're actually doing what is being asked, which is not normal. Number 2, a diamond outlet called Hellsberg Diamonds came up with a pretty weird but brilliant promotion for buying an engagement ring. You see, they're just giving away Xbox One S's with a purchase of $999.99 or more. Giving them away. Now, the extra weird thing, though, is this exposes their margins. They're not getting an Xbox One S for less than anybody else is, so how are they making money? It clearly makes business sense for them to do this, and that is really scary. And finally, number 1, Snoop Dogg got busted for a promotional stream where he wasn't even playing the game. I say busted, but he didn't really try to make it seem like he was playing the game. I mean, he did for a while, but then he kind of just gave up and smoked pot. He then started doing some raps, so whoever was playing the game kept playing it while Snoop Dogg was just basically sitting there effing around. And I kind of think that is great. I don't really care that Snoop Dogg didn't care about this game enough to the point where he was like, meh, whatever. I'm just gonna do the Snoop Dogg thing from here on out. A quick bonus weird point, a teenage Overwatch player's dad pulled him out of school so he could play Overwatch professionally. And suddenly video gaming has become a professional thing. So his dad took him out of school so he could play video games and get good enough to go pro. And that's where we are. I don't know if that's good or bad. What did you think was the weirdest story of January? Leave us a comment, and if you enjoyed the video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.